Hello everyone, my name is Asha Arnashila, working as an assistant professor in Chalapati Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today I want to discuss about the review of object-oriented concepts. Coming to the introduction. The object-oriented programming is a paradigm that provides many concepts such as inheritance, data binding, polymorphism, abstraction, etc. Here, the first object oriented programming language is Simula. The programming paradigm where everything is represented as an object is known as truly object oriented programming language. Smalltalk is considered the first truly object oriented programming language. And the popular languages are like Java, C hash, PHP, Python, C++. These are the popular languages which are used in the object oriented languages. And here the main aim of this is to implement the real world entity. For example, class, object, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. These are the different types of examples in the real world entity. Coming to the next slide, the object oriented programming system. Here, what is an object? Object means a real world entity such as pen, chair, table, computer, watch, fan, water bottle, human being. So, whatever, that is nothing but an object. In the real world, entity is nothing but an pen, chair, table, computer, watch. These are all the different types of examples that those we can call as an object. In the object oriented programming, it is a methodology to design a program using classes and objects. It simplifies software development and maintenance by providing some concepts. That is object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. By using these concepts, it simplifies the software development and also the maintenance. A part of these concepts, there are some other terms which are used in object-oriented design. Coupling, cohesion, association, aggregation and composition. These concepts are used in the object-oriented designing. So let us see the diagram here. See object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and encapsulation. This is the diagram representation for this. So I'll move to the next slide. Now we will discuss one by one what is an object. Object means it is an real world entity. Real world entity. So what is an entity? An entity that has state and behavior is known as an object. State and behavior. Let us look at examples like bike. It is an object. Pen, fan, chair, keyboard. Those are we can call as an objects. Here each and every object which it contains the state and behavior. State and behavior. So here the state is nothing but a property. For each and every object which it contains the property, and behavior means what is the task performed by the object. What are the tasks performed by the object is nothing but a behavior. An object can be defined as an instance of a class. Instance of a class, or we can call as an it is a real world entity or a runtime entity. An object contains an address and takes up some space in memory. Objects can communicate without knowing the details of each other, data or code. The only necessary thing is the type of the message accepted and the type of response returned by the objects. For example, take here a dog. Here I am taking the dog as an object, and what is the state and behavior of the particular dog? State is nothing but what is the color of the dog, what is the name we are calling, what is the breed of the dog. So these are all contains the state, or what are the properties of the dog. And here the behavior, what the dog will do, what is the behavior of the dog? Wagging the tail, barking, eating, jumping, playing. These are all the different types of behaviors of the dog. So here dog is an object. So here we can know that what is the state and behavior of the particular object. Here object is a real world entity. Entity that has state and behavior. Now see the characteristics of object. Here the state, behavior and identity are there. In the state represents the data of an object. Behavior means represents the behavior of an object such as deposit, withdraw. These are all the different types of examples for the behavior. Identity. It is used intentionally by the JVM to identify each object uniquely. The JVM means Java Virtual Machine. By using that each identity to identify each identity uniquely. Now coming to the class. Collection of objects is called class. Collection of objects, or we can call as a class is a blueprint that object should follows. That object should follows, or we can call as a class is a logical entity. The class doesn't contain or it doesn't consume any space. See here the class in Java, which it contains the fields, methods, constructors, blocks and nested classes and interfaces. The class which it contains all these things. A class can be defined as a blueprint for which you can create an individual objects, and the class doesn't consume any space. Coming to the inheritance. When an object acquires all the properties and behavior of a parent object is known as an inheritance. Or we can call this acquire the properties of one class to the another class is known as an inheritance. So acquiring one class properties to the another class is nothing but an acquiring the properties of parent class to the child class. Parent class to child class is known as an inheritance. Here the parent class we can call as an base class, and child class we are calling as an derived class. It provides code reusability. It is used to achieve runtime polymorphism. Coming to the polymorphism. Polymorphism means the single task or one task is performed in different ways. One task can be performed in different ways is known as a polymorphism. For example, see here, to convince the customer differently. We can convince the customer differently. That is one of the tasks. To draw something, So suppose if we want to draw a polygon, in the polygon different shapes will be there. Either we can draw a square, triangle, rectangle, hexagon. So different types of shapes will be there. So one task can be performed in different ways. Or here, see the example here which is shown the figure. The duck quacks, means these are the animals, and the dog woofs, cat mews, and human will speak. The speaking is one type of task, and different types of sounds will be generated. So in Java we used method overloading and method overriding to achieve polymorphism. Method overloading and method overriding. This can be achieved in polymorphism. In later concepts we'll explain this. See here, it is an example to speak something. So for the human, the words will be in different languages. The cat will be meow, and the dog bark woofs, and the duck quacks. Different types of examples. But speak is one of the task, and different types of sounds will be generated. That is nothing but one task is performed in different ways. That is a polymorphism. Coming to the abstraction. Hiding internal details and showing functionality is known as abstraction. Or we can call as an showing the useful information and hiding the implementation details. We can call as an abstraction. Suppose let's take an example here. Phone call. We don't know the internal processing. We don't know the internal processing. Or let us take another example like if you are downloading a software, by clicking it you can install. By installing we will get the .exe file. So we can click that exe file and we can run that, and we can use that software. But here simply we can use that software, but we cannot see the coding which is there in the exe file. So here whenever we are using the abstraction means showing the useful information and hiding the implementation details. That is one of the example. When we are using the abstraction means it is providing the security. For the security purpose we are using the abstraction. In Java we use abstract class and interfaces to achieve the abstraction. Right. Coming to the encapsulation. Here the encapsulation means binding the variables and methods in a single entity is called encapsulation, or we can call as an binding. Here the binding is nothing but in wrapping, binding code and data together into a single unit known as encapsulation. For example, a capsule, it is wrapped with different medicines. See here the diagram here, capsule, which it is wrapped with different medicines. A Java class is the example of encapsulation. Java Bean is the fully encapsulated class because all the data members are private here. So this is the encapsulation. Coming to the summary here. So what are the object oriented concepts we explain here? Object, class, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. These are the object oriented concepts. So here an entity that has state and behavior is known as an object. Or an object can be defined as an instance of a class. Or we can call as it is a real world entity, or an object is a runtime entity. These are the different types of definitions which are involved in the object. Next, class. Class means collection of objects is called class, or a class is a blueprint that object should follows. Hiding internal details and showing functionality is known as abstraction. Here the showing functionality means showing the useful information and hiding the implementation details. We can also known as abstraction. Inheritance means acquiring the properties of one class to the another class, called as inheritance, or when object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent object is known as inheritance. If one task is performed in different ways is known as polymorphism. Binding code and data together into a single unit we are known as encapsulation, or another definition like binding the variables and methods into a single unit is known as encapsulation. So here these are the concepts. These object oriented concepts, it is by using this, it is a programming methodology that helps organize complex programs using inheritance, encapsulation and polymorphism. Okay, I think so it's clear. Thank you.